Welcome again participants in this new session of Organizational Behavior MOOCs. And in the last session we were talking about work motivation and we could understood the work motivation. In this session we will talk about the relationship of motivation with performance, and yes, we will talk about the phenomena of work motivation, and then we will talk about various theories of work motivation. So, let us start with motivation and performance. In the last session we were talking that there is difference between motivation and performance. Motivation cannot be considered as same as performance is. Performance is when individual is putting the effort and converting the effort into a reality, or when doing the work. Motivation is prior mental state. It is motivation which will persuade, which will push the individual or employee to do the work. So, now let us try to understand the relationship between motivation and performance, and this can be understood with the help of Mars model. It is MARS model, and Mars model includes motivation, ability, role perception and situational factors. In simple, we can understand that if we want to motivate or if we want to keep an individual in the motivated state, then it is necessary that person should be persuaded, person should feel the need and desire for that. And then next factor in the Mars model is that individual should be able. If we motivate a person who is not capable or competent or able to do something, his potential, his ability is less than, or individual cannot generate that kind of mental and physical effort with which work can be accomplished. So, this is second factor. Then third one is the role perception. Role perception means a person who is motivated should be capable and able and must know what is his role in doing that. If that role is not clear, then there will be dilemma and there will be confusion in that. And yes, of course, there are certain situational factors. Person is motivated, person is capable, and person can very well understand the role of doing that, but the situational factors are not supportive. And the best example is, again we can take example of COVID-19. Majority of employees, they were really highly motivated because of a prolonged lockdown in their houses, and they were able and capable to do that, and they were very much clear about their role perception, but the situational factors were limiting them not to do or not to get motivated. So, this is basic model of Mars, which is connecting the motivation with the performance. If individual want to convert the motivation into performance, then these factors must be understood. And why we should understand in the organizational working? Because if we will not understand, we will being manager in the organization, we will not be able to motivate people, and we will not understand the abilities and competencies of people, and we will not well define their role and perceptions, and we will not generate and create that kind of situations which are supportive for the accomplishment of the job, then the process of motivation will become difficult. So, to motivate people, yes, the very first there should be appropriate strategies for the motivation, and these strategies should be used on the people those who are competent, and then these people should be well clarified about their role and perceptions, and the situational factors should be made accordingly. So, this is relationship, and in this basically the energy, enthusiasm, ability These are the factors, and all these factors should be monitored and controlled. Now, in the perspective of performance, if we try to understand the complete phenomena of motivation, then we can say that there should be very first need, and that need should be so strong that it can drive the employee, and that drive should be in a particular direction, and that drive and direction should be full of mental and physical effort, and this mental and physical effort must result into the performance. And once individual has performed, there should be some reward in the form of a product or a service, and that product and service must satisfy the need of individual. So, it is a kind of cyclic process. It will start from the need, and that need will drive the person. That drive should be effortful, and that effort should be that kind so that individual can perform, and that performance must bring some reward in the form of a product or service. And once that product or service is created, that product and service should be that product or service which can quench the desire or which can satisfy the need. And while doing all that, or while involving the employee in this motivational process, the organization must create environmental opportunities and provide the resources. Individual employee is motivated, driven, full of effort, ready to perform, and ready to give rewards, and yes, interested to satisfy the need, but environmental opportunities are not there. A farmer want to go in a typical kind of farming activity, but the climatic conditions are not appropriate, the environmental conditions are not appropriate. A farmer want to grow paddy, but there is drought, and that drought will stop the person to do that. And similarly, among business organizations also, the individual employees or teams are motivated, but environmental opportunities are not appropriate. And next factor is availability of resources. It is not possible to do anything in this world without provision of resources. If resources are not provided appropriately, then the process of motivation will go waste. And yes, once person is motivated, there is appropriate environmental conditions and resources are provided, then of course, there should be goal and incentives, and by using all this, person will work. Now, coming to the classification of motives, there can be different type of motives. At a larger level, motives can be classified into two major groups. The first one is primary and secondary motives, and second group is intrinsic and extrinsic motives. Now, what is primary motives? Primary motives are the motives which are related to the satisfaction of primary need of people, and the primary need of people are the basic needs like hunger, thirst, sleep, sex, avoidance of pain, and maintenance of body temperature. So, basic, primary. Secondary needs are the needs which are later learned by the organism from the society, and it is as a result of interaction of people with other, and such secondary motives are desire to associate with others, working in the team, and need to have a high rank of society, to acquire power and to practice the power, to use authority, and yes, to practice independence, to ensure security and safety. These are the secondary needs. Among secondary need, many motives can be included. So, these are two different type of motives. Motives means the forces, the factors which motivates a person, and among them the primary and secondary. Now, another set of motives are the extrinsic and intrinsic motivation. Extrinsic motivation is something which is existing in the environment, something which is luring from beyond the organism or beyond the individual. Such kind of motives are extrinsic motives, and that kind of motives will motivate the person extrinsically. Suppose an organization want to attain 5% additional production goal, then there can be two situations. The one, employees required to be motivated by external factors like increase in the salary and provision of additional fringe benefits, social security, incentives. These are the extrinsic. Whereas, there are certain employees which will not worry about all these external factors, rather they are motivated from within. They are so interested by default from within to work, and that kind of motives are the intrinsic motives, and the person who is motivated as a result of intrinsic motive is intrinsic motivation. So, these are two kind of motivations, and majority of people, why we are talking about extrinsic and intrinsic motivation and primary and secondary motivation in the organizational working. Number of times we have discussed that each and every individual is different and unique, each and every individual has different set of needs. Now, it is duty of the organization or managers to identify whether it is primary needs or secondary needs, or person can be motivated with the extrinsic motivators, or the individual is self ignited. Observing and understanding all this from person to person, accordingly employees of organization can be motivated for the accomplishment of organizational goal. So, understanding of primary and secondary motive and intrinsic and extrinsic motives can help the managers to match them with the behavior of employees, and accordingly practice and use these principles for the motivation of employees in the organization. Now, let us talk a bit about a model of intrinsic motivation, and this model is given by Ken Thomas, and according to this model, motivation proposes that intrinsic motivation is achieved when people experience feeling of 4 factors: choice, competence, meaningfulness and progress. According to Thomas, if people working among organizations can be given choices, choice means now it will match with the uniqueness and difference of individuals. Each and every individual is different in respect of the need, desire and demands. So, if we are giving choice to the people, it means we are trying to match it with the need and desire of person. Not only that, the next part is we must check and test whether individual is competent to do that or not. First, choices should be given, then competency should be tested, and if individual is skillful, individual is able to perform that, then second dimension of intrinsic motivation is attained. Next element in that is meaningfulness. Whatever assignment work in the physical or mental form desired to be accomplished by a particular employee, that should be meaningful to that employee. If that work is not bringing any meaning to individual or to his life or any meaning to the team or people of the team, then it would be a bit difficult to motivate intrinsically the employee. And the last element in that is progress. Yes, of course, there should be opportunity to progress in this, only then motivation or intrinsic motivation can be attained. With this, the concept of work motivation and both its general motivation and work motivation has been explained, and how the process of motivation is useful in the organizational working, or how the principles or concepts or phenomena of motivation can be practiced in business organizations for effective attainment of organizational goal. And it can better be understood with the help of various motivation theories also. There are number of theories, and specifically need hierarchy theory and work motivational theories, number of theories are there. If you try to understand theory, theory means how we can approach to understand a concept, a phenomena, a happening, how we can understand. So, motivational theories are the theories which will help us to understand how the process of motivation can be practiced among organizations or business companies, so that there can emerge the opportunities for maximum attainment of organizational goals. Basically, motivational theories helps managers to understand the phenomena of motivation in the organization, to understand the behavior of people or employees working with the organization, and then developing a strategy so that employees can be motivated. So, talking about, there are different type of motivational theories, and these motivational theories are basically classified or categorized in three different classes. The first one is content based theory, second is process based theory, and third one is cognitive theories. So, let us start one by one. Content based theories. These type of theories helps manager, professionals and psychologists to describe the needs that can drive the motivation. Under the category of content based motivation, we can identify the set of needs which can persuade, which can force, which can derive the people to become motivated to accomplish the organizational goal. Then next set of theories are process based theories, and under process based theories, basically the process theories describe how motivation happens. In the content based, what needs can derive the person to become motivated, whereas in case of process based theory, what is the process of motivation, or in simple words, how people get motivated, how this process happens. So, the theories which will help us to explain the process of motivation will be process theories, and the last one is cognitive theories. Cognitive theories examine how an individual perceptions and environment affect motivation. The first one is what needs can motivate the people and how people can be motivated, this is process, and cognitive examining individuals perception and environment which can affect the motivation. So, first for motivating, what are the needs, and then understanding the process so that it can be prolonged, it can be maintained, it can be sustained. and then next is how the various factors can affect the perception of people about motivation and the environment which is necessary for developing the process of motivation. So, there are three type of theories, and among these theories let us first talk about the content theories. There are number of contributors or propounders of content based motivation theories, and among them the very first theory is Maslow's need hierarchy theory, and the second theory is Alderfer's ERG theory. The third is McClelland's achievement motivation theory, and one more theory under the banner of content motivation theories is Herzberg's two-factor theory. So, these are four major theories in the category of content motivation. Under the category of process motivation theories, the theories given by B.F. Skinner's which is reinforcement theory, Skinner's reinforcement theory, and second theory under this category is Victor Vroom's expectancy theory, and third theory in this category is Adams' equity theory, and the last one is Locke's goal setting theory. And another theory which is cognitive theories, under this category only two theories are considered, the expectancy theory and goal setting theory. Otherwise, these theories are also included in the process motivation also. So, the theory of expectancy theory as well as goal setting theories, these theories are under both the categories, that is process. It means the expectancy theory helps us to understand the process of motivation, as well as it helps us to understand the perception and environmental factor which can affect the motivation. So, these two theories are a combination of the process theories as well as cognitive theories. Now, let us start one by one the different theories, and among them the very first theory, which is known as Maslow's need hierarchy theory, is the most popular theory related to the motivation. Basically, the name of theory is Maslow's need hierarchy theory, and if we try to understand the process, even this theory is the content theory. So, Maslow has helped to identify the kind of needs which can motivate, but if we try to understand the process of motivation, in the process of motivation we were talking about the various factors, and these factors were need, drive, effort, performance, reward and need satisfaction. So, basically if we want to understand the content theory, in the content theory the very first theory is Maslow's theory, and in the Maslow's theory the set of needs, Maslow has categorized the needs among 5 different categories, and those categories are: number 1 the physiological needs, number 2 safety needs, number 3 physiological need, safety needs, then next is social need, then esteem needs and self actualization needs. These are 5 different types of needs or categories of needs by using which people can be motivated. First one is physiological needs. Physiological means anything which is related to the functioning of the body. If an individual, if an organism, if a person want to remain in the state of survival, or if a person want to survive, there is need that certain physiological processes must go on. That is, the heart should keep on beating, brain must be functioning, lungs must be working, or in simple words, all the organs of body should be functioning. But for the functioning of body organs or for the performance of physiological functions, there are certain kind of needs. If those needs will be addressed, only then individual will be satisfied. So, these are physiological need, and under this category the need of hunger, thirst, sex, these kind of needs can be categorized under this category. The next category is safety needs: protection, security, safety. Man has reached to a very advanced state. Even then there are certain fears from where the individual need safety. Now, let us take example. One woman is going for an interview, and after conclusion of the interview, now the candidate and the interviewing panel is discussing about finalization of the compensation, and the company has offered that if candidate will take 1 lakh rupees with certain set of fringe benefits, or 80,000 rupees with one of the fringe benefit of transportation of employee from home place to the industry and back. And this organization is a 3 shift working organization, and that girl may be required to work even in the C shift, that is in the night shift. So, of course, that girl will prefer the second option. Even the amount of salary in the first option is much higher than the second, but here the safety is a concern. Safety is a concern. So, if the safety of people can be addressed, people can be motivated for working. Third one is social needs. Survival of human beings is not possible individually. The very first unit is considered as family. So, individuals must address the social needs. The very first is individual need, then the safety need, and then the need related to the people, those who are socially related to the individual, that is the family members, and then gradually expanded to the friends and relatives and known. So, the social needs, then the esteem need. After attainment of physiological need, safety need, social need, these are hierarchical in the nature. Hierarchical means person will first try to satisfy the physiological need, then the safety need, and then the social need, and after that, yes, of course, person want to be recognized, and after recognition, next is the self actualization need, and organizations can identify these needs, in which state of the hierarchy individual is, and accordingly these needs can be addressed and people can be motivated. So, with this we will conclude this session, and this session is concluded with the Maslow theory of need hierarchy. And thank you for patient listening, and I wish that you might have enjoyed the learning. In the next session, we will come up with another motivational theory, and we will discuss about it. Thank you very much.